Ha! Fooled y'all. Nah, man, let me stop messing around. But yo, I really appreciate y'all being here for this like late night session of the here. Hold on. Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Can y'all hear me? I think I messed something up. Probably did. Let me see something right quick, man. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see something. About to test something out right quick just to make sure, cause I was playing around with the headset and the microphone and shit. Like, cause I be tripping. I don't know how I go. But we are live. We are back. Episode 81 of Sucio Sports. Like, I really appreciate y'all being here. For real, for real. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool. I was just making sure. I had to get it on my phone so I could test it out on Twitter and just make sure because when I don't use the mixer, I don't get as much feedback, so I can't really hear most of the time. Let me hear my music one more time. Yes. We are coming to you live. Round one of the NBA draft is tonight, man. I appreciate y'all plugging in. We wasn't sure if we was even gonna be able to do this show or not. Uh Simply because I got a new work schedule and everything, right? And so sometimes my work schedule be crazy. But the absolute craziest part about this is I'm technically still on the clock. And I had to set an alarm so I can clock out at 10. Sounds strange, I know, but they was like, "Hey, just make sure you set your alarm. If you get done, you get back to the house before 10 o'clock or whatever. You're not still out on an appointment. Make sure you clock out." Like, so what if I get home at 8? Yeah, just set an alarm, clock out at 10. Say less. Say less. It's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I got my alarm set. I just need one of y'all to remind me to clock out at 10. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, episode 81 of Sucio Sports, it was either gonna be late night tonight after I got off and I had an errand to go run. Baby girl was setting up a whole new store, so she got off late. I got off kind of late. Um Thought I wasn't gonna get off till 10 o'clock, maybe later. But we only had the one, little daily, and it wasn't too long, wasn't too far out, so got back sooner. So we don't have to do tomorrow or Friday. We may still end up doing a recap pop-up episode or something like that. I'm not sure, but we may just do a Twitter Spaces this weekend or something like that. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to make sure we were here tonight because it's a lot. Well, I ain't gonna say it ain't that. It's some stuff to talk about, especially in the NBA with the first round of the draft being tonight and everything. So appreciate y'all for rocking out with us. I see people retweeting the stream and all of that. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Appreciate the love and the support, all of that there, man. Like we really do appreciate it, like for real, because it's a lot of times where people will say they support you and yeah, you gang, we family, da da da, da, and you don't really feel that love or that support all the time. And it's like, we not a huge podcast, we not a huge podcast network even. But just a little bit of love that y'all do show us, Sucio Sports. Y'all show the Sucio boys. Y'all show Dre Lax podcast and Aim High and whatnot. Like we do really do appreciate that. Just especially me myself, like doing this, because I swear I would not be doing this if it wasn't for the guys like telling me I should do it, asking, come on their pods or do this, do that. Like, bro, you got a gift, you got a talent, you use it, da da da. Like I really didn't want to do it. I don't like doing it all the time, but it is like it is a pleasure to see like the love and the feedback that we do get, and that's what really makes all of doing this extra stuff, worth it. Um, but again, we just appreciate y'all for tuning in. Episode 81. We're gonna try to keep it consistent. Like we said, like if we can bring y'all an episode every week, it may not be exactly Wednesday at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Sometimes we may have to call an audible or something like that. Like I know Keyz with his work schedule and stuff, sometimes he can't be here all the time or whatever. But it's like as much as I possibly can, Wednesday, 8:30 Central, I'm gonna be here. Even if we have to move days, move times, whatever it is, like we're gonna keep it straight. We're gonna keep it dedicated to bringing y'all the same infotainment on sports as much as we can. Because like I said before, um we're gonna entertain you. We're also gonna inform you. We're not gonna give you no BS, and we're gonna know what the hell we talking about. You ain't gonna hear no hot take, hot air bullshit like a lot of these people do for clickbait and stuff like that. You're not gonna get that from us. That's not what we here for. Like we here to inform, entertain, and bring y'all our flavor, our swag, put our spin on things, right? So that's just how we gonna keep it, and we trying to keep it as light and as cool as possible, as informative and educated as possible as well. And I know a lot of the times, man, that people will give y'all certain they'll give y'all certain takes and stuff like that, and they don't always really know what the hell they talking about. And the craziest part to me, to be perfectly honest with y'all, is that a lot of the times I see people regurgitating information, right? And they basically, I have to make sure I have the adapter for the laptop to plug it in case the battery get low because of the light and everything. But anyway, but I see a lot of people regurgitating information. And what they're basically doing is they do like what some of these aggregate sites do. And before I go any further, shout out to the sponsors, man. Jail Blasters and Inplay Dogs. Both the two of them. You feel me? Um, both the two, Jail Blasters and Inplay Dogs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. But nah, I feel like a lot of the times people just they see information and they just put it back out there, right? Um, and they basically just doing it as a means to get clicks, get views, get attention on themselves. They'll also word things in a manner in which it gives you SEO optimization, so where their stuff will come up. Some people even pay for to get their tweets boosted, to get in front of more people and things like that. Um, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a quote tweet or retweet credible sources and go with their information. And if you go to Twitter and you oh, you know what? I didn't hit the share tab, so y'all didn't even hear the fucking music. My dumb ass. I'm sitting here thinking y'all heard the music. I forgot to hit the share tab. Okay, the Pelicans just picked up Asa Newell, forward from Georgia. I'll recap that the first round and everything for y'all in a second, but let me hit my music for real this time so that way y'all can, because I'm listening to it in my headset and I totally forgot to hit share. See, this is what happens when you start working a different schedule, different jobs and stuff like that. You be forgetting stuff. I wasn't even paying, my dumb ass wasn't even paying attention that I didn't even have it on the screen or nothing. I'm just jamming out to the music thinking y'all heard it and everything. Now I'm gonna hit my music. Now I can say yes. Hear my music. Listen to my music. Your song. Like y'all have no idea how much I love that old school NBA on NBC theme. Like that was legit part of my childhood growing up, dog. Like, well, really, I'm old as fuck, so I remember when the NBA used to be on CBS, and when the finals would be on tape delay. Like I remember that, like back in the day when it was Lakers and Celtics and shit. And I used to want them fucking Converse that Magic and Larry Bird used to have. Feel me? And shout out to the homie Ja Wick, the last Bumbleclot on Twitter. That's my homie I used to work with back in the day. Uh oh, here go see, it's my alarm. Tell me to clock out. Y'all can't see that, but yeah, my alarm telling me to clock out. I gotta clock out at 10, 5 more minutes. So, but shout out to Mark, man. Like, that's the homie. Mark all the way in Hawaii, dog. Mark all the way in Hawaii. So he a few hours ahead of us or behind us, whatever the fuck. He behind us, yeah, behind us. But like my dog always tune in, always show love, always support. You know what I'm saying? The music. He said Slim Reaper gang because he grew up, born and raised in Houston. He's a Houston guy, so he's down with the Kevin Durant trade. That was the music of our childhood, like straight the fuck up. Like that was the music of our childhood. Bruh. Like you already know. Marv Albert. I can't even do it no more. He throwing up the little, hang loose because that boy out there heavy lifting in Hawaii and shit. That's my dog. Shout out to Gresh, man. Resharing the pot. I thought Gresh would probably be passed out by now. I guess he's still up. Appreciate you, gang. Let me tell y'all something real quick before we get serious and get into it. You feel me? Spam gang is a real thing because spam is like a food group in Hawaii. Like if y'all follow Mark on Twitter, that's his Twitter right there. Ask him, like legit. Dude told me, he was like, bruh, I went into the store. He was like, tell me why they got the anti-theft on spam. I was like, you lying, dog. I said, dog, they ain't got no anti. He was like, bruh, when I tell you they damn near lock it up because that's how much people out there love spam and people will steal that shit. I was like, dog, you tripping. Bruh sent me a picture. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. He was like, it's not everywhere, every store, whatever, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy the way it works out. And that's one of the things over there that they really love. They love they spam. And they really do be like, you know what I'm saying? They be on it. But hey, I ain't got nothing against it. You feel me? Because I done ate it sometimes growing up and stuff like that. Like I think my uncle one time, I think he had like chopped it up and like scrambled some eggs with it or something. And one time we had made sandwiches or something with it. Man, my uncle used to do all kind of stuff. That's where I get a lot of that creativity shit in the kitchen from because my grandmother on my dad's side, like that's where I get the planning stuff out, cook a few things for the week while you off on the weekend because she was a nurse and then was a nursing supervisor and all that kind of shit. Like my grandma is a killer, not a killer. She didn't kill people in the hospital. She was a nurse, but like she moved up the ranks and stuff, and then she was like in some office shit. She didn't have to be like changing diapers and wiping booties and stuff like that. She was like on some administrative type of shit when she ended up retiring. Um, But like she knew she had a lot of fucking work to do during the week, and she had a real long ass commute. And she was like, I gotta make sure I cook when I can. And I cook to last us through the week. So I get that from her. And then my other grandmother, like she had 5 kids and my grandfather, plus the jobs that she worked, she would cook. And then she helped her and my grandfather, their homeboy, they helped him with his catering business and shit. And like my grandmother would literally cater like all the family weddings, all that stuff. Like she did all that shit. And so like just the volume of cooking, like how much shit I cook when I do cook, like I get that from her because I don't like I have a deep freezer and a refrigerator just because my grandma used to have a big stand up, big ass freezer in the laundry room. And then she had a big ass regular freezer in her kitchen. So like all of that extra shit, all that cooking stuff, all that stuff, like I get that from my grandmothers. And my uncle, my youngest uncle, who was like my older brother, basically, me and this dude used to get in the kitchen and just like experiment sometimes and just cook some shit. And after my grandmother got sick, that's when we really got into it. But like, nah, man, it was crazy though. Time to clock. Hold on, I gotta clock out first. Let me clock out. All right, cool. Cause I don't want to get in trouble when I go to work tomorrow. All right. So anyway, NBA draft, right? First, wait, first, we got some moves that's being made, right? Like shit is wild out here. Like we got like the Kevin Durant trade for it was oh shit, who was it? Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th pick in this draft, which ended up being the center from Duke that's gonna go to Phoenix. What is his name? Malik, whatever the hell that boy name is, man. I can't even pronounce this. Kaman Maluak? Malush? I don't have a way to pronounce this dude's name at all. You know what I'm saying? I gotta text my class at work, make sure the rest of them clock out. Don't forget. But I don't want them to get in trouble neither. But nah, like that he's part. So basically what they did was they traded Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Kaman Maluak. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. That's how I'm gonna pronounce his name. I don't know what his mama named him, but I'm gonna name him that. Kaman Maluak. And 5 second round picks for KD. Um, my homeboy, that's another NBA head, he was telling me, he was like, "Hey, Stephen A is going off on the Suns right now," and I was like, "Bro, I get it, because it doesn't seem balanced and or fair." However, if you dig a little bit deeper, the Suns said they were going to work with KD and his team, his reps, to find a place where they could trade him where he would be happy, best offer for the team, so on and so forth. Now, the reason why he didn't have a no trade clause. Bradley Beal, on the other hand, is still a Phoenix Sun right now because of that no trade clause. And bravo, shout out to his agent. You know what I'm saying? Cause he got that no trade clause. They tried to trade him at the trade deadline, couldn't find a taker for him. He didn't want to take, he don't want to leave. Bradley Beal is right now basically squatting in Phoenix because he doesn't want to go anywhere. Kevin Durant almost had the same power that Bradley Beal has simply because next year is this coming year is the last year on his deal. NBA trade rules prohibit you for trading a guy like a KD making 50 something million a year for a bag of peanuts. You can't do that. You have to match salaries and or come within a certain percentage. If your team is under the salary cap, under they're not even over the apron or nothing like that. They can take back more because it fills up to that salary cap or gets them to the first or second spending apron. If you're over the cap, under the first apron or whatever, you got certain rules you got to buy. If you're over the second apron or whatever, then you really you can't you have to take back less than what you're giving out because they don't want teams to keep going into that repeat offender tax and all of that kind of stuff. It's kind of complicated, but it's kind of not. I'm just trying to give y'all the Cliff Notes version so y'all can understand why trades like this and the Desmond Bain trade also, why those trades happen and they look so lopsided. So basically, KD is on the last year of his deal. A team does not want to trade and give up those kinds of assets that Phoenix was looking for initially because they want to get a commitment from KD that he's going to resign. If they traded him to, let's say, I don't know, Utah, right? Just picking Utah, just random team, whatever. Or I'll say like this: they traded him to Golden State, like was the rumor. Golden State did want him or whatever, and the thing was that they wanted him. However, he didn't want to go there. And if they would have made that trade despite his wishes, he's not going to resign there. Golden State would have gave up all these assets and stuff to get him there for basically a rental for half a season. Same thing. If a team would have done that this offseason, he's going to play there next year because he has to play. It's on his contract. But he's not coming back. He's not going to resign with you. So you just gave up all these assets for a 1-year rental. Nobody's going to do that because that's bad business, right? So what happened was KD says, hey, listen, trade me here, 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 here. I'll go to those teams. I'm willing to resign with those teams. Those are the teams I want to go to. That's who you need to negotiate with. Outside of that, you're going to waste time and money. You're not going to get a good deal. List went from 5 teams to 3 teams. It was down to the Heat, the Rockets, and the Spurs, right? Spurs bowed out. They said, listen, we're not willing to part with the type of assets you're looking for and match the salaries and everything and jeopardize what we're building, what we already have. Spurs bowed out. Now it's down to only 2 teams, right? So now you're basically negotiating against one other team if you're the Heat or the Rockets. Whereas the Rockets made it a lot more palatable because they had the 10th pick, whereas the Heat have the 20th pick. The Rockets also had Jalen Green, an up-and-coming star in the league. Kid still has a ton of potential, and I think that he's going to, if he realizes at least some of that potential, he's going to do great things. He's already about a 20, 24-point game scorer. He's capable of doing more and doing better. It's just up to Jalen to, take his game to another level. He also showed that he's capable of playing good defense, decent defense at least this year, this past year, especially when he's committed to it. However, a lot of Rockets fans here in Houston fell out of favor with him when they saw his playoff performance. You scoring less than, 15, 10 points a game for 5 out of the 6 games, and you have that 136, 35, 37-point explosion. Every other game, you were a non-factor. It reminded me, it was a very James Harden-esque performance before a whole series, not just in an elimination game. I don't want to put that banner on him just yet as the guy who has all this potential but never realizes it, or who, I'm not going to say he doesn't have championship DNA yet, like we did with James Harden 10 years ago. We're still right about that because he still does not have a title. Rest in peace to Craig Shelton, my dog. Like we used to talk about that all the time. I think one of the Facebook memories I just recently had was a picture of me, him, and Angelo Lawford for when we used to do a Saturday and Sunday show, 7 to 9 p.m. over at KCOH here in Houston. So like I said, when I tell y'all I've been doing this, like I've been doing this since '09. Like just because I started Sucio Sports with Keyz about a year or so ago, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Like I don't even like to brag on myself or nothing like that, but it's just I'm just stating facts. Like you can literally Google my name and my credentials and stuff will pull up. Like stuff I've written, podcasts, different things like that. Like I have, you can Google me. I don't even like saying that because it feels weird to brag on myself. But oddly enough, I didn't even know. I've never Googled, I never looked myself up, none of that stuff. I always just I write, publish, edit, whatever, put it out there, boom, good. Um I don't like to toot my own horn or nothing like that. It's really hard for me to talk about myself and stuff like that and to tout my accolades or whatever. But like a lot of sometimes I just feel like it's necessary because I don't like when people like challenge my thoughts and opinions and don't think that I know what I'm talking about. I don't think that I've put any thought into this. I'm not one of these people, like I said, that you hear earlier, who just take other people's information and regurgitate it, or they put a cute headline or something that'll grab clicks and views and stuff and put it out there and try to go viral or nothing like that. Like, no, I do this because I love this. I've actually been doing this. Like since I was a little kid, I've always been into sports. That was always my thing. That's always what I did. So when I'm presenting myself to y'all, when I'm talking to y'all, like that's really me. That's who I am. That's what I do day in and day out, whether I was doing this podcast or not. I would be just as in tune, just as plugged in and everything else. But nah, man, it's just we're gonna bring it to y'all from a different perspective. We're not gonna shortcut nothing. I'm not gonna, say some dumb shit just to get y'all to tune in or bait y'all into some shit. Nothing like that. I'm not gonna do anything like that. Like I've put years into this, and because I'm doing this podcast, is because I want to bring y'all the as good of a different perspective on sports as I can bring y'all. Not none of this fluff and bullshit that y'all see out there most of the time. Because a lot of the times, to be totally honest with you, you see a bunch of stuff and you hear a bunch of stuff, and it's recycled ideas and people just repeating what other people say. And a lot of the stuff you see on ESPN, Fox Sports, or whatever platform, podcast, or whatever you get, a lot of that stuff, especially on TV, is heavily produced. They have research departments, they have producers, writers, showrunners, and everything else to set them up. And a lot of the times you just get talking heads. 20 or so years ago, what used to be a faceless, almost thankless job as sports journalists and writers certainly became media personalities because that's where they were pulling from. Now those guys are starting to get phased out in favor of former athletes. And because former athletes have a different spin, different take on things, they say more outrageous stuff and they'll have more inside information because they played the game. They were more recently plugged into the leagues and different things like that. So in the NFL, NBA, MLB, hockey, even we even Dre even sees it with lacrosse, soccer, or football, however you want to call it. I do that because at the new job, one of my bosses is he's from England and he played soccer and everything else. And we give each other stuff all the time. But football, that's for Joe. Um, but and I know Holly will say that too. Sometimes she'll say most of the time she says soccer, but sometimes she get in her little foreign bag and she be want to go football. But like Holly, stop it. You from down south, like Texas City or whatever. Like stop it. But no man, but like you see the former athlete craze now because they're more willing to say the outrageous headline grabbing things and they'll do all of that kind of stuff and people will expect um they'll expect others to do that kind of thing, right? And it's just funny because yeah, that gets you clicks, that gets you views and all of that, but do you really stand on what you say? Do you really even believe in what you're saying? And most of the time they don't. And so that's why a lot of the times I just have to go on rants like this because I can't stand all the fluff, all the BS, all of the just the foolishness and the clickbait, you know. To me, clout is a more powerful drug than any bath salt, meth, crack, cocaine, anything you want to come up, opioids, whatever you want to think of. Clout is a more powerful drug than all of them put together. Because I've seen people that will just about sell their souls and risk their lives and reputations, literally risk their lives and reputations behind going viral or getting a bunch of clicks and views. And that's not what we about here. Like at least I know I pretty much speak for Keyz, but more or less for myself. Like that ain't me. I'm not about to just spit y'all some bullshit. I'm not about to give y'all nothing. Whatever I'm saying, I'm well informed because I watch the games. If I don't watch the games, I watch the highlights at least. I'm reading the articles from trusted sources, but I'm also going off of knowledge that I have from talking to people in these industries and in these sports and whatnot. And I understand why insiders and journalists and whatnot, reporters protect their sources because that's how you continuously get the feed of information. So when y'all say, well, they don't want to say where they got it from, they don't want to say where they heard, of course not. Because if I out a source just because you want to know where I heard this rumor from, guess who's not getting any more info? For what? Just so I can prove to you that I heard this from so and so? No, I'm not doing that just to tell you where I heard this from or whatever. Even if they feed you bad information, you still won't out that source because they might give you a bad piece of info this time, but they may have a valuable piece of info next time. They were possibly fed bad information to feed it to you using them. They're all pawns on a chessboard. Hell, even Adam Schefter has gotten shit wrong before. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the most plugged in dudes in the NFL. Buster Olney and what's his name? Jeff Passan. They've gotten shit wrong before with MLB coverage. So let's not act like people don't get fed bad information. Sometimes the most credible source can get fed bad information. They'll look bad. And nowadays, it's nothing. You post a tweet, boom, 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 you done. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next. Everybody forgets about it. That's just how it works. But you're not going to have to worry about that here because I'm going to tell you what I think about what I see. I'm going to offer my opinion and it's well informed because I am going to make sure I study all this stuff and I've been studying it and I go off of trends that I've seen in the past from these teams, from these coaches, from these GMs, and from certain players and whatnot. Because we study the sport and I remember all of this kind of stuff. So anyway, all that shit being said, um, but the reason why the KD deal, getting back to my original point, I'm sorry, I'm going on rants because I was just feeling it tonight. I apologize. But the reason why the KD deal went down the way it did, like I said, it was down to the Heat and the Rockets. It came down to those two teams. The package the Rockets offered was a more palatable package than what the Heat offered. They weren't going to get anything better from any other team because he was not willing to re-sign with those other teams. So they weren't going to get a good offer, a good solid offer from those teams because they know it was going to be a rental. And it later came out that basically KD and the Rockets were almost working together to get the price lowered on KD so it would lower what the Rockets would have to give up to keep more assets here to either play with KD and or make other moves to build a better roster around KD in these next couple of years that he's 9 times out of 10 going to re-sign probably that 2-year extension on top of this coming year. So KD will be 37 in, I believe it's September. So before the season starts, KD is going to be 37. He's going to play there that year 37, 38, and 39, most likely when he signs that 2-year extension. So that's just the way it worked out. Mark said, "Shout out to Unc with the spam, bro. You know how hard that spam and scrambled eggs combo goes. I know you know. I know you know. Shout out to him for reposting the stream. Crazy that Stone made leverage for himself. Hey man, I'm not gonna say he bad in 1,000, but dude he's doing a pretty damn good job. I will say so myself. I gotta give him his props. I know talking to and listening to Joel Blank locally here at ESPN 97.5 with the Killer Bees, him and Jeremy Branham. I believe they're on 3 to 6 Monday through Friday, if I'm not mistaken. 3 to 6. Yeah, 3 to 6. Um, but if you want more like inside basketball and especially Houston Rockets, tune into them. But bro, like Joel knows his stuff because he worked for the Rockets for a good amount of years, and he's seen a lot of things come and go. And he has stories for days, not just about the Rockets, but about life in the NBA itself and the way things work and how things go and whatnot. And man, just sometimes just some of the listening to him tell stories and just even some of the off air conversations like we've had with Joel and texting him and stuff like that, like Joel knows his shit, and Joel will definitely um he will definitely like inform you and enlighten you with some things like so bro, you did do that. Man, I forgot you worked for them, dog. I knew it was another reason why you was a super fan. Not just that you was from here and everything, but I knew it was something else that fool did for the Rockets. I thought you was something. I don't know why I thought he was a part of like the little fan club or whatever. That fool was a whole marketing associate. I got it all the way wrong. Oh, the Celtics picked up Hugo Gonzalez from Spain. It's crazy because I like that kid's athleticism and shit. He about 6'6.5", 6'7", about 220, 230, or roughly 225, something like that. And like he's not your typical Euro that you thinking gonna have a lot of fundamentals with that body type and just be a solid player. He does have some decent athleticism. So I really do like that pickup for Boston. Um High motor, passive rim protector is one of the notes that they had about some of his strengths and everything. But shout out to them, man, because that was a good pickup for them. I really like that move for them. Like real talk, seeing a little bit of what Hugo does, man. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff though, bro. Oh, you talking about Ace Bailey, the wing player, 6'9", 6'10" wing or whatever. The Jazz picked him with the number 5 pick. It was crazy because the homie House, shout out the House, man. That's my guy. But shout out the House. House said he sent me a text. I was finally on my way home. I could barely like I was just barely like hearing some of the shit and whatever. And he was like, "Hey, you think anybody gonna pick up who gonna draft? How far you think Ace Bailey gonna fall? Something like that." He texted me. I had like just got like right before he texted me. I saw the alert on my phone. I pull up to the stoplight because I finally got off the freeway. I see House text me. I look at the text and I'm like, hey, you think Ace Bailey get drafted? You think he fall in the draft? I was like 0% chance. The Utah Jazz just picked him a little while ago. And because House, I think House was still at work. So I don't even think he was. I don't think he had the alerts and shit set up on his phone or nothing. Like House didn't even know. I was like, bro, he just got picked like a few minutes ago. He was like, yo, for real? I was like, yeah, dog. I was like, and it's crazy. Worst case scenario by him doing all that extra drama and stuff that he did pre-draft. Guess what happens? You go somewhere where you didn't want to go. He wanted to probably stay on the East Coast. He wanted to go on a team that would help him build his star potential, where he would have playing time, develop, get shots up, whatever it is. Somewhere that was going to make him a star, feature him, blah, blah, blah. Now, your ass in the middle of nowhere, fucking Utah, Salt Lake City. It- hey, yo. What up, Dre? Dre say he was in a trucker space. He going to crack a land. Hey, the thoughts and opinions of our commenters do not reflect Susio Sports, CDB Multimedia, or any of our sponsors. Let me get that out the way. But yeah, he's gone to the Great White Desert. That's what I call it, the White Desert, because all that damn snow and all of that, whatever, whatever. Um, so hey, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. That one baffled me because had you done your due diligence, you probably could have gotten drafted third by Philly and been in a situation that's more conducive to you being where you want to be in a big market and so on and so forth. Instead, Philly went with the third pick because first pick was Cooper Flagg, second pick was Dylan Harper. Like that was 1 and 2 were pretty much the draft to me started with Philly at 3 because Flagg was going 1 to Dallas. Harper was going 2 to the Spurs. Like we've known this for almost 2, maybe 3 weeks now, especially at number 2. Number 1 was set long time ago when Flagg declared for the draft, number 1 pick. Whoever gets number 1, they draft Cooper Flagg. Like that was just. Some people tried to say Ace Bailey or whatever. No, it was gonna be Cooper Flagg. Where it came in was, do you take Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey second? If you're second, who's the second pick? That was the talk. Closer things get to the draft, it's like, okay, looking at these two guys, Harper or Bailey from Rutgers. Draft lottery happens, Spurs got the number 2 pick, and it's like, wait a minute. They should probably take big. Well, we don't know. Bailey pre-draft stuff is not working out and all of that. Don't want to do workouts for teams. People are like, okay, you know what? You're gonna probably fall in the draft. VJ Edgecombe started rising up because VJ Edgecombe is a very athletic, guard. 6'4", probably about 6'5" with shoes on. Very athletic, explosive guy. A very good defender as well. The weaknesses they say is how Edgecombe operates on and off ball at Baylor. His ball handling ability to play with pace and make shots off the dribble are still a work in progress. Notice they did not say anything about his motor, his athleticism, or his ability to play defense. It's the ball handling, play with pace, and make shots off the dribble. Spot up, he was still, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it still needs a lot of work. But you can do that and everything. But I love this pick for Philly, especially because there's talks about them potentially moving Paul George in the trade and whatnot. So there's a lot that's going on. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see like how everything gonna work out, how everything gonna go. Keyz said he tuned in right now. Keyz said it's been a very wild, productive, crazy evening and night. Bro, who you telling? So it's just been one thing after the next, after the next, after the next, and it's just wild. Uh yeah, Dre, there was the Hawks were talking about PG and Utah was another rumor for Paul George as well. What man? Shout out to JT and them Marks with Mics, man. I don't have the soundboard plugged in to get in the round of applause or the gunshots or nothing, but shout out to them brothers over there, man. They put in a lot of work and do a lot of good stuff on their show. If you're a pro wrestling fan, definitely tune in to Marks with Mics. Two dope marks as well, Young Wrestling Kings. Wrestle Realm. I think Wrestle Realm, if I'm not mistaken, Brian H. Waters and them, they on right now. If I'm not mistaken, because sometimes they be on when we be on. Yeah, they are. Wrestle Realm is on live right now. So if you got a second screen, a second device, or you want to open up another tab or something like that, tune into them brothers right there because those brothers actually went to school for video production and all this kind of multimedia stuff, and they're actually shoot jobs are that kind of stuff, and they do this on the side. So and JT and them do a great job over there, Marks and Mikes, with their graphic, the underlaying music and whatnot, and very informed takes as well. And the reason why I'm shouting out all these other pods, number one, because I support my people, regardless of whether they show me love or support me, and all those guys do. Just saying, whether people show me love or not, I'm going to support because I just want to see everybody win. But number two, all of these guys put real work into their pods. They don't just turn on the lights, turn on the cameras, plug up the headphones and microphones, and just start talking. They put in the work to watch wrestling or sports, whatever it is, and talk to y'all about it. They develop topics, they pull up graphics and whatnot. Like they put in work on their pods to give you a good presentation and a well-informed presentation as well. So that's why I'm always gonna big up and shout out my people because it thank you, Dre. It's all about helping the independents. Matter of fact, quick story. Like Dre is a truck driver. Dre was working for another company or whatever. Dre homie gave him the game. Dre was like, bet I'm going independent too then. Long story less long, little pulling back the fourth curtain one day, Dre sent me something. I was like, who the fuck is this? I was like, man, I don't know if I should like take this or like what? Turns out this fool sent me something from his business instead of his personal. And I'm like, what is this? Now it dawned on me after I was like, wait a minute. I know who this is. This fool the whole time. I totally forgot the name of his company and stuff. When he went independent, he had to register his DBA and everything to so he could, get his tax and paperwork and everything straight. Man, I'm happy for that dude. Though. I wish I had the applause, the soundboard. I just didn't feel like hooking all that up because I got off. My daughter got off. We both came home. We was both tired because she was busting her ass all day. I was busting my ass all day. It was like, look, we're just gonna do the pod tonight. Fuck it. But anyway, um, but yeah, man, it's all about helping the independents. Like JT said, all gas, no brakes. For real, game is to be game is to be told, not sold. Exactly. And I'm always big up and shout out those guys because I know the type of work that they put in behind the scenes before they get in front of the camera to do what they do and to give y'all the best product that they can give y'all. So I mind shouting out Wrestling Realm and telling y'all to go tune in while they live right now. We live right now. Hell no. Because I got real love. Like Brian H. Waters is like a little brother of mine. Like we do life together. Like so we talk about real life shit and support each other in real life stuff. So it's not just me showing love to another pod or a group of guys that I like to listen to as well. Because typically, right now, we be done wrapping up or done wrapped up Susio Sports by now on a normal night. Just we got late start. I got off late. Things happen, but wanted to get it in tonight just to come and holler at y'all. But nah, man. But those guys, I know the type of work that these pods do and the amount of work that they put in. Especially shout out to Black Wrestler, man. If y'all haven't checked out the BRP 50 yet, definitely peep that out. Um, but definitely shout out to them. But yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff, man, with this draft and everything. And the Desmond Bain trade was another one that I know people were tripping out off of, right? Um, simply because what happened with them. Memphis is trying to get under, I believe, the second apron or the first apron. They're trying to get under one of the aprons, right? So if they shed enough salary, they won't be paying repeat offender tax at a certain level. So it'll lower the amount of money that they're paying out in luxury taxes and stuff. And so even though it was more of a even swap as far as the salary match is concerned, them taking on it was KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope, and Cole Anthony, and some draft picks. I know it's a lot of first rounders and different things like that. I get that. However, you have to match salaries and you have to take back draft picks in order to get that balance or whatever. Orlando desperately needed a shooter. And Desmond Bain is a career 40 or 41% three-point shooter. Now, he may not bring the same defensive intensity KCP brought, and he may not be the utility guy like Cole Anthony was or what have you, but Desmond Bain is going to play good defense. He's going to play hard nosed defense. He's a hard nosed bulldog type of player who's going to fight to the end. But most of all, he gives Orlando that outside shooting presence that they desperately needed. What's up, Total Dallas? I'll be forgetting like Dallas be on here sometimes and his real name, his shoot name or whatever. But yeah, it is Flag Day because he's a huge. And the reason why his name on Twitter is Total Dallas because he is a Mavericks, Cowboys, Rangers fan. I know he's a little stupid, but we still love him. He's still one of us. He just like the wrong teams. That's all. So we just whatever. Anyway, man, but yeah, shout out to them. Um, oh wait, you know what? See, because Dre a Cowboys fan too, but this is the thing. The reason why I like he's also as beige. Hey, you know what? I'm not about to do this with y'all with that light skinned coon shit. We not about to do that light skinned Louisiana coon ass bullshit, dog. We not about to do that. And Keyz, you're not about to be an Eagles fan here. Ah, this is every week with them. Keyz and the Cowboys fans, every week is something with them. He did name his dog Romo. Like, that is no bullshit. The dude dog name is Romo. Like, no lie. No lie. How he racist? I'm not getting into this with y'all, bro. I'm not doing this with y'all tonight. I'm not. We not about to do this with y'all tonight, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't about to do this shit with y'all tonight. But let me put this on the screen right quick just so I can show y'all something. Let me do this right quick because I got to grab something right quick to shout out one of the homies because it came today. And I didn't want y'all to see me getting up from my spot because I still got on my pants from work. Oh no, I ain't get dirty today. I ain't get dirty. I was in the attic today, but I ain't get dirty. Anyway, these are the picks in the draft. Hopefully y'all can see it. If y'all can't, my fault. I apologize. I really don't, but who cares? Um Here, let me go back to this look right quick. All right. Anyway, so what we got is Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, Edgecombe, Con Knuppel at number 4 to Duke, from Duke to Charlotte. Uh, some people, excuse me, some people said that was a wild pick. I don't think so because Knuppel is the best shooter, or was said to be the best shooter in this draft. Right? They got it, and they needed that. Just the same way Orlando needed a shooter to go with the Wagner boys and Paolo and Jalen Suggs. What I love about Charlotte getting Knuppel, now you get Melo and Brandon Miller with a playmaker. You put a couple of more pieces around those guys, and those kids are going to be fun to watch play basketball. So that to me, I love that pick. Ace Bailey going to Utah. That's going to be interesting as hell to see what they do because they wanted to build around Laurie Markkinen. Ace Bailey kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Tracy McGrady almost, or like a KD or something like that, probably. But he has a lot of ability. It's just what is he gonna do? Trey Johnson out of Texas at 6. The other guard, Jeremiah Fears from OU at 7 to the Pelicans. Brooklyn took Igor Demon out of Utah. Long, rangy, string bean type of guy. The streaky 3-point shooting is what threw me off, is because he's a really good passer, pick and roll, creative, but the shot making, that's something that they're gonna try to work on with that kid, and I like that. Raptors taking Colin Murray Boyles, the big body from South Carolina at 9, and then the 10th pick, of course, the Rockets traded that pick to Phoenix, but they took Kaman Malawak from Duke, the big man, because you do need a rim protector still in this day. It says who won the draft. Phoenix says, Key says he thinks Phoenix won the day. Did Bailey screw himself? He has to live in Utah instead of Philly. Yes, I think he did. I think they really fumbled that whole marketing. I want to be in this type of market or whatever. Ace is a special talent, but he's also special between the ears because he could have done a lot better for himself had he just made visits and worked out with teams and just privately behind closed doors expressed like I would really like to go here, here, or here, or whatever. Not working out for anybody, not giving anybody private workouts. To me, it kind of said two things. Number one, he wanted to control his destiny, which a lot of these kids try to do coming out of college and whatnot. But number two, I think also he did that to hide certain deficiencies that he still has. And I don't blame him, but I do blame him at the same time. It's like you can show those deficiencies, and if teams pick up that you have these deficiencies, they're going to see it regardless. But are you willing to work to shore up your weaknesses and make them into strengths? That's the true thing. And by you not taking those workouts, not willing to do any of that, and basically whining and crying and trying to pout and get your way, does not set you up for success. It puts a lot of question marks on you. You're going to get taken because of your talent. You're not going to drop that far. He went number 5 to Utah. But the thing is, you didn't have to go to Utah. You could have went 3rd to Philly had you done the right thing, but you didn't. So now you in Salt Lake City, my guy. Have fun. No one that doesn't look like Dre wants to live in you. Oh my God. Here he go. I'm half Mexican. That's racist. Mexicans live in the cold too. That is true. That is true because there's some fire Mexican food in Chicago. And I got a homeboy I went to middle school with who opened up a couple of restaurants up there. And Brian was saying that some of his favorite employees are Mexican, Hispanics, and whatnot. So it is. Toronto was stupid for not taking Malaway. I was thinking that too, Keys, because taking the undersized big man in Murray Boyles, like they say, his questionable shooting limits his value off the ball and complicates his fit in some lineups given his lack of size. Is an unconventional big with a style frame, great toughness, and an intriguing combination of playmaking ability and defensive versatility. Being able to rotate and stuff is cool. That's great and everything. And that's much needed in today's game. But at the same time, like you could have had a rim protector there. As Vernon Maxwell to speak on. Boy, you get Vernon Maxwell to talk to Ace Bailey about Utah. Ace Bailey is going to regret that every day of his life for at least the next 4 or 5 years. Guaranteed. But that would be interesting. Yeah, it's great to have mountains in Mexico. Mexico City is at a really high elevation. That is true. It is true. But what if his people not from the mountains in Mexico? What if his people from the lowlands in Mexico, the coastline or something like that? You just never know. Anyway, man, it's been crazy and wild, but um picking back up Portland with the trick pick they traded to Memphis, took Cedric Coward out of Washington State. Good NBA body guy. One of the first foreign players was Noah Essengay. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. A 6'10", another one of those stringy, skinny French guys. Narrow frame makes it difficult to operate inside the paint in the NBA. Inconsistency from the perimeter might prevent his opportunistic scoring from translating to the league. Another thing is a lot of the times guys don't be really like working on their stuff. Number 13, the pick by the Hawks, which has been traded to the Pelicans, was Derek Queen from Maryland. Big body guy, 6'9", 250. He lacks the length and explosiveness for an NBA center and struggles with poor conditioning, which makes his upside defensively unclear. He will need to develop ability to stretch the floor as he's stuck between the power forward and center positions currently. I think if he goes there and he really does like get with a Trey Young, a shooting coach, or somebody like that, and works with the staff and everything, I really think that he can be something. Carter Bryant, forward from Arizona, that pick from the Spurs was traded to the Hawks. Uh, Thomas Sorber, center from Georgetown, another 6'9", 260 something. That pick was from the Thunder, was traded to the Heat via the Clippers. While he stuffed the stat sheet, he lacks a degree of explosiveness to raise the ceiling as a finisher and defensive anchor. Missed the final month of the season with a toe injury that is expected to keep him out of NBA Summer League. Stuff like that really does hurt guys in their rookie year, but if they recover well and rehab well and the team works with them well, they'll definitely make up for it, I believe, towards the end of the season. Yang Hansen, big man from China. This was crazy because he came into the draft combine maybe like a second round pick or so. After that performance at the combine, he shot up to the number 16 pick, which Memphis traded that pick to Portland. Portland is definitely getting one of the most unique talents in this draft because 7'1", 253. I'll read his strengths and weaknesses because a lot of people don't know about him or whatever. Yang is a towering presence with his size, including a 9'3" standing reach. He had an excellent showing at the NBA Combine, validating his strong 2 seasons in Chinese CBA. Slow-footed with questionable awareness, intensity, and agility guarding in space. Yang has significant questions to answer defensively. He doesn't offer the floor spacing potential one might hope to compensate for his lack of explosiveness. Now, he did show the ability to step outside and shoot. It's a lot of the times that these guys don't do this stuff consistently enough. Oh, Dre says people from Monterey and Guadalajara. Key says Queen is a special talent. I think he can be, man. It's just like when you get those guys that's like a tweener between the big man positions or whatever, that's sometimes where you gotta find the lane on offense and defense to really gear to and contribute into a lineup and wherever you go. So a lot of the times, guys who have certain body types and or skill sets or whatever, and they kind of caught in between certain positions like that, you got to find a lane to carve out your niche when you get to the next level. Find out what team you get drafted to, how they want to use you on offense and on defense. Get with the coaching staff and the training staff early. Hey, what do you guys need me to work on? Where do you think I fit into this lineup, into this rotation, and so on and so forth? What do you want to see from me, from what you've already seen from me, and why you drafted me? Where do you see me fitting into this team? How can I help you? And working on all those things, getting in the gym, getting with a nutritionist, hitting the weight room, and all of that kind of stuff. And this isn't just for guys to lose weight and or gain weight. It's for the conditioning, because the 82 game schedule is a grind, and you got to bring it 24/7, 360. Hey man, Keyz is stupid, bro. They didn't already put it's called Cooper Shag, and they done put the Dallas Shag on Cooper Flag now. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And on that note, we'll have the first sip of the night. Oh man. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy draft. Total Dallas says he's gonna disagree with the Suns. I don't know, man. Malawak is a decent prospect, man, especially because Phoenix's defense is what really killed them this year. It wasn't their offense, it was the fucking defense. That fool said he had his until 90. Yeah, because you got older and started working and shit, and you had to get a real haircut. What up, DJ? I've seen you sneaking here. I think Carter Bryant is going to be a Steelers draft for the Spurs. And I was getting to that next. Maybe so. But he's going to Atlanta in one of those side deals. So that's the other thing. He's not going to stay with San Antonio. That pig's being traded to. Oh no, is it from Atlanta? Hold up. No, they got that pick from Atlanta. I'm sorry. He wasn't traded to. They got that pick from Atlanta. So yeah, you're right. He does have a varied skill set. The only thing is, like this is saying, a modest role on veteran Arizona, lack of degree of polish as a ball handler, decision maker. He is lowest usage ratings in this draft. Guys like that, you don't really know what to expect, and that's why I'm guessing, DJ. I'm guessing that's why you saying you feel like he could be the steal of this draft, because you don't really know what to expect from him, since he had one of the lowest usage rates. Guys like that are always really interesting because the ceiling could be really high, but you don't really know what the floor is, because he hasn't been used that much to say, like, I know he can be at least this. We don't really know. So, like, that ceiling floor thing is really varied, and he could end up being one of the steals of this draft. But that's what makes guys like that going in a position middle of the first round so interesting, especially to a team like the Spurs that's on the come up, is simply because you don't really know what you can get from some of these kids coming into this draft. So it's going to be interesting. Key says Phoenix traded for Mark Williams is the key. Total Dallas says, but he's injury prone. But the thing is, though, like, guys sometimes get that injury prone label on put on them, and it's not always completely fair. Injury prone to me is you keep having the same types of injuries over and over for one reason or another. Either you just got weak joints, or too tight of a tendons, or you just have degenerative things that you keep, something in your game keeps having you throw something off or whatever. Like for example, Tyler Shuck, he got that injury prone label in college. This quarterback the Saints drafted in the second round. It was a broken collarbone on a tackle where he got hit and kind of fell forward, fell on the ball, kind of sort of, and like that's how he broke the collarbone. And then I want to say the knee or ankle injury, it was another way he took over and got tackled like some kind of weird way and broke the leg or whatever. So it's like he had a broken collarbone and like that's a collarbone and a leg injury. Like I could see if he kept tearing his ACL or his PCL or something like that, or keep spraining ankles. Like when Curry had them ankle problems, and people thought he was injury prone. And that first contract extension he signed wasn't very. It was I want to say like around 11, 12 million a year. And that's why another reason why he went from Nike to Under Armour. Nike didn't want to put the Bible scriptures and stuff like that on the shoes that he wanted, and he kept getting hurt wearing their shoes. Under Armour says, we'll put whatever you want on your shoes. We'll let you even help design them, give you stock in the company and everything. Best thing Under Armour ever did. DJ says I watched some Arizona games this year, and he stuck out as a guy who could be really good at the next level. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like when you look at the little bit that he did play and the little bit that he did show, he has a good skill set, and it looks like he can translate at the next level. It's just we haven't seen that much of him to know what that ceiling actually can be and what that floor actually is. It's just somewhere between here and here. Some guys it's a little bit tighter, or the floor is a little bit higher because of the talent that they have, and they've been able to consistently show it. So their floor is a lot higher. So is their ceiling, because you see the talent that they have, you see the output, and you see what they can do. But when you get a guy who hasn't been used very much, but he shows good skill set, you don't really know what that baseline is, but he got some skills, so he could be way up here, but we don't really know what he's like and what he can do against certain competition. So that floor is a lot lower. It's a lot of variance in there. Played time won a lot for him this year, but I believe he's good also. No, and the crazy part about it is getting drafted to the Spurs with what they already have. Unless the Spurs make another trade or a move or something, he may not get that much playing time with the Spurs. And he could end up being one of those kids where he sits there for a while, finally gets a chance to play somewhere, and then boom, instantly takes off, because it's like now he has more playing time, or God forbid somebody gets injured and he's called into duty to play a lot sooner. You just never really know. And the whole thing about it is you have to, like I said, you have to take a lot of things into consideration with that kid. Even if he doesn't get that much playing time this first year, 2 years with the Spurs right now, it'll be good for him because he'll be on an NBA roster, NBA training staff, NBA coaching staff, best facilities, and everything else. He'll be able to ease his way into the league and get used to being a professional basketball player and whatnot, and develop. So he's going to make good money, and he's going to get some of the best coaching and everything else, because Popovich is still part of that franchise in the front office. And the coach that they have, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's been in that organization a while. So they have a system in place, and they know where they want to go, and they want to go with that youth movement. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. I don't think De'Aaron Fox gets moved this offseason, or Stephon Castle. Don't be surprised if the Spurs end up moving De'Aaron Fox, maybe trade deadline, maybe next offseason or something like that. Just depends. I'm not saying that. I don't know any inside information. I'm just thinking, like, if some of these young guns, especially Dylan Harper, shows the ability to step up and be able to play and whatnot, don't be surprised if the Spurs part with Fox. Yeah, I think they're going to start him in G League and work him up. That wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest with you, especially with a kid like that. That way he gets reps. That's what a lot of the times these guys do. And some guys take it as a sign of disrespect. Some guys take it as, hey, you know what? It is what it is. What I'm looking for, though, what I can see from what I can tell, that's a damn good idea, DJ. That's a really good idea. I love when they send those kids down to the G League just so they can get the reps and play and get used to playing pro basketball. Maybe not at the big league level, but we can at least send you down to Rio Grande or bumfuck wherever and get you some reps in. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to get those kids get reps in. Picking back up 17. T Wolves got this pick from Detroit via the Knicks. They took I don't know if it's Joan or Johan, whatever, Joanne, whatever, Behringer from France, another Frenchie. Walter Clayton Jr., uh, the guard from Florida. I'm sitting here looking at it and can't even remember it. Had a really good he was like extremely clutch helping Florida get to the national championship. And it says his weaknesses, while prolific and aggressive scorer, questions linger about his feel for the game as a passer and defender. Exactly, especially his 6'4" wingspan. This is what I was getting to with Desmond Bain, which is a knock against Desmond Bain, and a lot of people talk about his T-Rex arms and whatever. And you can look at that dude and tell his arms are really, really short for his frame. But the reason why wingspan is such a big deal, like I was taught, if you don't have the lateral quickness and the agility, the knees, hips, and footwork to move laterally quickly to play good defense and stay with your guy, spread your arms and make yourself as wide as possible so that way it's harder to get around you. Not only does wingspan help somebody from getting around you, but when you stand up and make yourself tall, it also is harder to shoot over you and everything else. So it's like wingspan is a huge deal in the NBA, whether you a guard, wing, forward, center, whatever you are, no matter what position you are, wingspan is a huge, huge deal. So that goes to that. Yeah, his tourney performance put him in the first round. Oh, without a doubt. Like when bro, I remember when we was talking about that at the UH in Florida played and everything. I was really sad for UH. I really wanted UH to win, especially for my guy Fred Fowler. Rest in peace, Fred Fowler. But I really wanted UH to win. But Florida was just a better, and Walter Clayton Jr. was like he was there. I don't want to overstate it and I don't want to understate it, but he was the main catalyst for them getting to where they got to. So I love that for the kid that he got drafted and everything. Another Frenchie, Nolan Trois. I ain't trying to pronounce that shit, man. Brooklyn got that from Milwaukee via the Knicks. Little guard from France, 19 to the Nets. The Heat got Kasparis, Jack Conch. Man, look, I'm having a hard time with these damn foreign names, but the Jacusinius, Jacusinius, the playmaking guard from Illinois, um, dissects defenses out of pick and rolls with great potential size, smarts, and playmaking savvy. There is considerable confidence in his shot making prowess. Now, the weakness is not as explosive, typical Euro type of player. Jacquesionius struggled with turnovers and shooting consistency as opposing defenses locked in and home late in the season. He has some questions to answer on the defensive end and learning to stay in front of quicker defenders. That's why I was saying when I saw Hugo Gonzalez go 28, and that was the 20th pick with the Heat, that was the pick that they were trying to trade to the Suns, part of the Kevin Durant trade. That's why when I saw Hugo Gonzalez, when you look at the ESPN, I'm just using their stuff because I just pulled up their website real quick to use their info. But it says Hugo Gonzalez, strengths, aggressive swingman with excellent frame, whose inconsistent minutes have hindered his ability to demonstrate the potential he showed over a decorated junior career in Spain. Weaknesses: 11 minutes a game for Real Madrid over a long season. He remains unpolished in several ways for the highest levels, notably as a shooter. And he's not the most disciplined decision maker in the half court. Post-draft analysis: Gonzalez has solid role player toolkit with noteworthy motor and nice combination of size and explosiveness. That is why I said Hugo Gonzalez does not remind me of your typical Euro because he has that athleticism and explosiveness that a lot of those European guards do not, bigger European guards or wings do not always have. And that right there shows you the difference. Like Jack Sionia he is a killer at the pick and roll. Like coming into the league, I'll say in Miami, especially with Kelly Ware, I would love to see him and Ware work that pick and roll, possibly in the summer league. But I don't think Ware is going to play in the summer league for Miami this year, especially with the way he showed up and showed out his rookie season. But I would love to see those guys in the pick and roll thing, man. That's gonna be definitely DJ. We needed a point guard. I still think Tyler Hero gets moved. I don't know if Hero's gonna get moved though. And they did need a guard. They really did. But the only difference is like the scouting report says, when they keyed in on him, he was inconsistently shooting the ball. It was games where I would see this dude go off for like 15, 20 points or whatever, 8 assists or something like that. And then it'd be games where he'd have like 7, and shoot like 2 of 11 or whatever. He'd have a game where he'd be like 7 of 15 or whatever, 8 of 12 or something like that. And then he'd have a game where he's only 2 of 9 or whatever. It's that up and down, that inconsistency and stuff, and that's where it gets a lot of guys picked apart, and that's why you see a lot of these guys going this late in the draft. In between, you had guard Will Riley, the Jazz pick, but that was traded to the Wizards. Drake Powell, the guard from North Carolina, that pick was for the Hawks, was traded to the Nets. And the Pelicans picked up Asa Newell from Georgia. He's another like, but again, limited wingspan because he's 6'9" with only a 6'11" wingspan. So, he's probably gonna have to play more like that forward position, guarding wings and stuff like that. We'll see how they use him in New Orleans. Neat Clifford, guard from Colorado State, went to 24. That was the Thunder, but it was traded to Sacramento. Clifford has some things to improve as an outside shooter, possesses decent physical tools regarding his frame, length, and skill profile at 23 years old. I mean, hey, you know what? Sometimes you can teach an old dog new tricks, and it's crazy that we call a 23-year-old rookie an old dog. But I mean, when you got guys like Cooper Flagg getting drafted, I want to say he was like the youngest player ever to be drafted number 1 overall at 18 years and I think like 100 and some days or something like that. That's why you get guys like that. Jace Richardson went to the Magic at 25. He's gonna help fill in some of that those extra minutes at guard, because even though they traded KCP and Cole Anthony and a bunch of picks, I know y'all gonna throw that in there, especially me and Keyz talked about that last week. But nah, man. But he's gonna help get some. He's gonna get some decent playing time probably, because they have Suggs and Bane at those guard positions. They have a few other guys, but Jace Richardson has a chance to come in there and get some play. Says his best work came weaknesses. His best work came operating off the ball last season, but is undersized at the NBA level, even from a point guard position. He's left hand dominant and looks somewhat passive at times as a shot creator. But like they say, exceeded expectations, emerges as a key player of Michigan State as a freshman with his efficiency and mistake-free basketball. That's the thing you need from a guard. No matter if he's undersized and inconsistent, if they can play mistake-free basketball, you will get more playing time. Like that's it. Guards, it don't matter if you a true point, a true shooting guard, lead guard, combo guard, whatever. If you are a guard and you can play mistake-free and play hard, play smart, you're gonna get playing time. They're gonna find a way to use you. He just said Spo will clear that right up. I think some of these late round picks have a chance to make impact on teams this year. There's some of them do, and that's why I said that's exactly why I specifically highlighted Jace Richardson going 25 to the Magic, because he's going to help add depth to their backcourt. Back-to-back picks again by the Nets. Ben Saraf, the Israeli guard. Um, Big guard, impressive combinations of scoring instincts, feel for the game, aggressiveness, playmaking, demonstrating supreme timing, creativity in the pick and roll, sharp basketball instincts, blah blah blah. Anytime you see a guy that says combination of scoring instincts, feel for the game, aggressiveness, and playmaking ability, demonstrating supreme timing, creativity in the pick and roll. Here's where you get the gut punch at on the weaknesses: inconsistent perimeter shooting, average physical abilities, make it hard for him to score efficiently, and limit his defensive potential. This is why you get picked 26th instead of 6th or 16th. This is the difference. Brooklyn with another pick at 27, Danny Wolf from Michigan. Um, things to improve as a shooter: 39%, 34% from three, and only 59% from the free throw line. That's the thing that kills me, especially about these stretch fours and fives. Is like you can hit 34% from three, but you only hit 59% from your free throw line. Really? Like that bothers me big time. Again, we already said Hugo Gonzalez, 28 from Spain, going to Boston. Uh, Liam McNeely, the 6'7" guard from UConn, went to Phoenix at 29. That pick was traded to Charlotte. So Charlotte's going to have another guard, um, 6'7" frame, and he can really shoot it from deep. Will struggle to score efficiently. Even though you shot 38% from three, you struggle to score efficiently. Not making shots as consistently as scouts would hope, 44% on twos and 32% on threes. He is a career 38%, but this past season he was only at 32. Lacks a degree of strength, quickness, and explosiveness, which limits him as a finisher and a one-on-one defender. That's why they say big wing with skill, low feel for the game, toughness to fill an important role. His numbers this season belie his actual ability. I mean, that's why you get them kind of scouting reports and you get picked 29th. But him going to Charlotte, hopefully playing with a LaMelo and a Brandon Miller, and also those guys getting Con Knipple from Duke, another dead-eye shooter, one of the best shooter in this draft, supposedly. That's what makes me feel like, a guy like a Liam McNeely can succeed there in Charlotte because he's going to get better open looks. So as far as you was talking about DJ, like some of these guys making the impact, if McNeely can get some playing time with that second unit and can just be a spot up shooter, he may excel at that in that role. And this is again going back to what I was saying earlier. When these guys get drafted, if you get with your team, get with your coaching staff, get with the front office and everything, hey, where do you see me fitting in? What do I need to do? Excuse me, what do you guys need me to work on? How do you see it playing out in this rotation, so on and so forth? Like, this is why getting in and getting the work as soon as possible is going to be beneficial for these guys. I love the draft. I love it every year. It's always one of my favorite times of year because you learn a lot about these guys. Last pick of the first round, the Clippers pick Yannick Conan Niederhauser from Penn State. And Niederhauser does not look like a Yannick Conan Niederhauser would look. He looked like a light-skinned black dude from I don't know, California or something. But his name is Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Late blooming Swiss center whose size, length, explosiveness, and defensive potential were on full display at the G League Elite Camp. Weaknesses: with just average feel for the game, he lacks a degree of physicality and intensity, not always making impact one might hope for, particularly against better competition. 6'11", 243. Like, I believe that kid is only 19. Is it? Why didn't I?
Ace Baldwin still looking to cook on.
Yeah, I think that kid is 19, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up right quick. No, I'm sorry. He's 22. 22. My bad. I thought he was younger than that. I don't know why I thought he was much younger than that. Because it was a lot of these kids that were foreign players and whatnot. Like, I really thought that they were. I thought that they were. I thought he was another one of those younger guys on the younger end of the spectrum or what have you. But I guess he wasn't. So there it is. But yeah, man, first round NBA draft, it was pretty crazy. We back. Like, oh, y'all wildin'. But nah, man, interesting first round. Um they do not do the second round on the same night anymore. So second round is gonna be tomorrow night. Um the second round is typically where you get either depth or you get quality bench players, role players, guys who may get more time in the G League and whatnot, like DJ was suggesting earlier with Carter Bryant. This would be a good idea for him. You do get sometimes when you get first rounders who will get sent down to the G League and whatnot. It happens. It is what it is. However, one thing that I do know is that you don't know where talent is really going to come from. And a lot of these guys may not be looked upon very highly, but they can get in a system and a program in which they have opportunity and time to shine. And next thing you know, they're, turn into a fucking Manu Ginobili, or they turn into a Nikola Jokic, or you not necessarily saying that all those guys are going to turn into Hall of Fame MVP type of players, but you do get some value and stuff like that, and it's not something just to throw away and forget about because you never know where talent can come from. Second round live on PBS. No, fool. You know it's gonna be on ESPN, you dummy. What do you think now that it's just baseball till NFL training at this time of year is always a low period? You know, and I was probably gonna get into that next week, DJ. But since you asking that question now, I'll touch on it now. It's still a lot to look into because summer league is about to start shortly. Uh, NFL dead period is always the time to watch because you always want to watch guys who may get hurt doing workouts. Watch for guys doing stupid shit while away from the game and on vacation. Um, just seeing what guys in the NBA are having surgeries and whatnot, who's working out with who, since trades and free agency is taking place and whatnot. Um, so there's a lot to still look at and look into. I know for a fact lacrosse is growing strong right now. Um, there is also, I believe, some soccer and stuff that's still going on right now. Hockey's done also, so it ain't even playoff hockey to watch no more. Shout out to the Florida Panthers, back-to-back NHL champions. Big ups to them. Um, but it's still stuff to look at with basketball and with football. It's not just baseball. Um, I want to say, dang, I can't remember what golf tournament is. Just, I know the U.S. Open was like last week, 2 weeks ago. But I think there's another big golf tournament that's coming up soon. Um, so that's another thing to look at. Total Data says, who's waiting until a training camp to have a surgery they could have had last year at the end of the season? Hey, man, look, don't we not here for you to air your grievances with your team and stuff like that. Oh, the Travelers. Yes. That's another that's it's not one of the majors, but it's one of the higher earning golf tournaments, one of the higher payouts on the PGA Tour. That's been like that since I was in like middle school, high school. The Travelers always been one of the highest paying tournaments that's outside of the majors. Oh, that's what it is. The British Open. Thank y'all, man. Both of y'all put that like right at the same damn time. British Open is next week. I knew it was another golf major coming up, bro. Like I couldn't remember. That's why I was like, wait a minute. Oh, the next major. Oh, okay. I knew it was coming up in some time. Hold up. See, now you about to make me look for it. When it's actually supposed to be coming up. Take a look at the schedule right quick. July 17th through the 20th. So yeah, so we get the Open as it's called. We just call it the British Open because it is the British Open. That's how we call it. Mama named Twitter. I'm gonna call him Twitter. But yeah, that's July 17th. So we will have that to look forward to in between. Yeah, thank you, DJ. You did say it. I switched screens and I couldn't see that you had posted the comment or whatever. But yeah. So we do got some stuff now that basketball's over and OKC has done away with the Pacers and whatnot. I said OKC in 7. I mean OKC in 6. Keyz, I believe, said Pacers in 6 or 7. I know he said Pacers. I can't remember if he said 6 or 7. But anyway, both of us were wrong. I still had OKC. It just took him 7 games. Keyz was wrong all the way around because he had Pacers. But yeah, great series, just as I expected. Um, Halliburton's Achilles injury was definitely a turning point in Game 7. However, even if he played on that calf strain, I still don't, or even if he was 100% healthy, I still don't think the Thunder was losing that Game 7 at home. I'm sorry. Because in this playoffs, playing at home, coming off a loss, they were almost unbeatable. Yeah, you were another one that said Pacers in 7. I knew it was somebody else that said that. They had a legit shot, and that injury did suck. But like I just said, I still do not believe in my heart of hearts if Hallie was 100% healthy that the Pacers were going to win that Game 7. What would have happened was it would have been a much better game. It would have been a closer game. Thunder would have still pulled it out, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. I'm just saying. It is what it is. Injuries suck, and it's part of the fucking game. And don't come in here with them tinfoil hats talking about everybody that wore number 0 in the playoffs got an Achilles injury and all this. It just so happened to be like that. We also have to realize that Dame was dealing with deep vein thrombosis, which is like blood clots and stuff, circulation issues and whatnot in the legs mainly. I think it is something like that. That could lead to some serious health issues down the line. I believe JT just popped his, and Hallie had calf strain that ended up leading to an Achilles tear, similar to what KD had when he tore his a few years ago. So it just is what it is. If you really want to ask me, I think a lot of these foot, ankle, and stuff injuries has just me in my opinion, how I feel about it. It ain't no medical advice or nothing like that. When boys started playing with them low top shoes, and I blame Kobe for this because he started that trend because he started making basketball shoes more like soccer shoes, even though guys plant and cut on the pitch or the field, whatever you want to call it. I still think playing in mids or high tops is better than playing in low cut shoes for basketball. That's just me in my opinion. Guys gonna still get their ankles taped, wrapped, supported, and everything else, but it's something about a shoe that gives you a little bit support around the ankle that I just feel personally is better for you. That's just me in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it because I'm old school like that. No, but the injuries are stacking up and needs to be more research done on it. And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The research shows that when guys played more and didn't load manage and everything, they got hurt less. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, so it is what it is. Shout out to the homie Trey D, man, because I forever will now call that rest in peace, Trey. I will for now ever call that when I do like this, them hands up, like hands off. Hey, it is whatever. That's forever to me gonna be Trey D hands. Like shout out to the homie. And shout out to Jordan, man. His son who's picking up the torch where his dad left off, man. That kid is gonna do great things because the whole community is supporting him and behind him. So shout out to Jordan. I really wish I had the applause button for that. Shout out to Trey's dad, man, who's also helping young Jordan out and keeping that legacy alive, man. Big Terry, I believe is his name, or whatever it is, man. Shout out to them, man. Much love to them. Um, Dame, Hallie, Kyrie, Tatum, all out next season. That's tough. Hey, bro, that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. It's just like I think it was last week before last, I was talking about like Zach Edie and gosh, man, there was somebody else who's having surgery. Team was in the playoffs and they end up having surgery after the season, but they're gonna miss the start of the following season because their teams were in the playoffs and they played through injury, and they're having surgery to correct issues that they could have had corrected now, but they would have missed the team's playoff run. It was Zach Edey and somebody else. I can't remember who the other player was, but anyway, it is what it is. That's just the way the ball bounces. Injuries are a part of the game, and there's nothing we can do about it. And not all Achilles are equal. Leg was already compromised previously. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like his that calf, like that's exactly what I just finished saying a little while ago. Hallie's Achilles tear started off as a calf strain. Because that calf muscle was strained and already compromised, it led to, similar to what happened to KD a few years ago in the playoffs when he was with Golden State. Same exact thing. Calf strain, trying to play through it, boom, pop the Achilles. What can you do? But man, I don't know. Tomorrow draft is still gonna be it's still some interesting stuff that's out there. Let's see. The most recognizable name that's still on this list is the first name that sticks out to me is Janai Broom from Auburn. He's actually the 10th best available on this list. 6'9", 249 strength. Broom is physical and highly productive inside-outside threat with good feel for the game. A finalist for the Wood Award. He was the best player in college basketball for stretches at a time last season. Weaknesses: lack of great length and explosiveness. Broom got by on timing and tenacity in college, but might be more of a situational fit on both ends of the floor in the NBA. Especially if his unconventional shooting mechanics and career 30% three-point percentage don't translate. Again, this is why you get a guy who looked like they said, was the best player in college basketball for stretches last season, and he's still on the board after the first round. Is what it is. Jimmy Hart rolled the video a few years ago, and these injuries, he surmised that it's a combo of these kids playing so much from a young age, all the AAU stuff, and pace of today's play in the game. It can. I mean, that is some good analysis, some good research. I do think that has something to do with it. Also, in baseball, there was also a startling number of younger kids getting Tommy John surgery as well. There was also the thing about concussions in soccer, especially at the youth level. And of course, football, it's always concussions, with football, and when kids should start playing tackle pads and so on and so forth. Too much 7-on-7 stuff, and all this other stuff and specializations, and it's a lot. Bottom line is Guys need to take better care of their bodies and whatnot and do what works best for you and yours. With that being said, man, all 240 whatever of y'all that tuned in, we really do appreciate it. Again, we got started a little late. Life be lifing, but we did want to present y'all with something tonight, especially since it was the first round of the NBA draft. We literally went over every pick, mostly every trade that happened. There's a lot of rumors and stuff that's popping off with other trades that are potentially on the way. Boston ended up clearing out, I want to say like within the last 10 days, not just salary, but in salary and luxury tax penalties, roughly about 200 or so million from their potential payroll and luxury tax bill. So when you see them trade a Porzingis and whatnot and do all these other moves and things like that, it's reasons why teams are doing that, because that when you're over that second apron so many times or years in a row, you do pay a repeat offender tax. DJ says I still think they're gonna trade Jalen Brown. They might, and there's a lot of rumors out there about all that. But again, we're gonna monitor that between now and next week. Um, and just see where things go. Total Dallas is agreeing with DJ. Like, but see, this is the thing. I would not be surprised if they don't, because one of the things that I feel this season could show Boston is you paid him all that money. JT not gonna be there next year. See what Jalen can do as the guy. See what he gives you. You know, don't just punt on it and then have JT come back and he gonna look like Will Smith. And it's like, where everything and everybody at? Keep JB and see what he can do. I mean, you could still end up trading him at the deadline if y'all not in it, or if you feel like you're gonna get a good offer, or says I don't think JB likes Tatum. Whatever, bro. Goofy ass. But anyway, man, nah, it's 76ers expect Joel Embiid to be ready for camp. I mean, listen, bro. When Embiid is healthy, that's a big if and a big win. He is one of the better players in the league. But as a dude that's nearly 300 pounds at 7 foot tall, like big men already have foot, ankle, knee, leg injuries and stuff like that, man. I'm done with Embiid. He got to show me facts. Embiid be pissing me off too, bro. But at the same time, dog, we gotta take this shit for what it is, bro. We gotta take this shit for what it is. Like Embiid has to show improve. He has to. And I know it's crazy saying a former MVP and one of the former top 5, top 10 players in the league has to show improve. But when you always hurt and you hardly ever on the court, you can't contribute. You got to do something. Oh, the process been over. The process been over. Like that was dead and gone a couple years ago to me. Um, when the whole Ben Simmons fiasco happened and all of that, and the Ben Simmons fiasco, and when oh gosh, what was that kid they ended up trading to Orlando, the guard that they picked number 1 overall, from Washington. When that happened, to me the process was out the window. It was gone right then and there. And there was no recovering from that, simply because like they did what they did and they built it up to where they built it up. But at the same time, it's like, but bruh, like what are you really getting from these kids? You ain't really getting nothing. And now, you know what I'm saying? The team don't even look remotely close to the same. Markel Fultz, thank you. Thank you, Markel Fultz. So when you get stuff like that happens, it is what it is. And you get what you get. And you can't say shit. That being said, man, we about to stop it right here because I gotta get up early in the morning. Long day ahead. We definitely gonna holler at y'all next week. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's almost 250 of y'all in here. Much love, much respect. I think I'd have missed my window of opportunity to tune in to Wrestle Realm Live because they probably gonna be off the air by the time. Oh no, they still going. So I'm about to get off of here with y'all and holler at them boys. Appreciate y'all for rocking out with us. We'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.